All right. All right, here we go, y'all. All right, let's get this thing on the move. I just want to go ahead and do a there was a lot of fights this weekend. A lot of fights this weekend, so I said let me get on here and do a LFA. Um I just want to do an LFA wrap, I didn't want to talk about all these fights in one live stream tomorrow. So I'm gonna break it up, man. I'm gonna have to do a LFA 118, and then I'll talk Bellator maybe sometime tonight or tomorrow. So I said, let me get on here and go ahead and um, speak on LFA because it was a good night. LFA was a good card. Marcus Bell, what's going on? I don't know if y'all got a chance to catch the LFA card because Bellator was playing at the same time, but overall I enjoyed both of them. I was kind of going back and forth, but I had to go back and watch LFA 118 last night. I'm not gonna say I lost interest in it, but the fact that the title fight was canceled kind of just it kind of disappointed me, and I said, oh man, like the hype died down a little bit. I mean, the other ladies fights on the cards, they definitely were good. They delivered. That's what I'm gonna talk about in this post fight. But yeah, man, the Love with the Young fight. Y'all saw my post on it. I posted straight from the Twitter. I posted straight from the LFA their Twitter, and yeah, I posted it on my page. So yeah, let's talk about LFA 118 though, man. They had a planned schedule of 4 fights for women, and coach, what's going on? He said he caught a few fights since Love didn't fight. Caught a few fights since Love didn't fight. I didn't care. Yeah, I thought the overall the card was good. I enjoyed it, but yeah, it definitely killed my hype whenever Love It Young. They said something about the commission. I mean, I'll pull it up at the end of the video. I was just kind of, I was like, man, what now? Like, why at the last minute they're going to find something wrong with her fight? Like something about the commission couldn't sanction this fight. I mean, this is a title fight, right? But before I get into that, before I go ranting on that, man, because like I said, it just rubbed me the wrong way. Let's talk about these other ladies' fights on here, man. Like I said, a lot of these straw weights and flyweights, they're still on the come up. So I said, let me go ahead and do a video and just talk about them because it was, got to give them some shine. They put on a good performance. The first fight on the card, it was a flyweight fight, which I've seen Taylor Malden before. She's an up and comer. Taylor Malden versus Nadine Mandial. Decent fight, to kick it off for the ladies. Tall, Nadine Mandial, she's a tall, long striker. And Taylor, ground fighter. She was trying to stay on the outside in this fight and strike with the taller, long fighter and Mandial, but she couldn't do that, so she had to eventually close that distance and take the fight down to the ground. You know, hold on, let me read a few of y'all comments. Marcus said I had to pull out my old multi-viewer to watch all the fights. Oh yeah. I usually do that. Pull out both phones. I got 2 phones, so I pull out both and get them both going. Um, but sometimes when I get focused on one card, man, I just got to stay on that card, come back and watch it, the next day or something. Okay. Yeah. So TJ said Lovett's fight got canceled because that other girl's life insurance couldn't cover if she stepped in the octagon. Are you joking or are you serious? Are you saying, or, I mean, are you just saying that she was about to get murdered in there? Or are you serious though? Or her insurance wouldn't cover? Well, I'll talk about that here in a minute. So yeah, man, Nadine, the first round, tall, long fighter, like I said, she was using her reach, landing some good 1-2s. Taylor being that shorter fighter early, had to step in, land a good head kick, scoop up Nadine and just take the fight to the ground and just be active on the ground. She was working that ground and pound, pretty good ground and pound for, like I said, up and comer. She's only 1-0, but she was working it. She was working in the guard of the taller, long fighter, just taking her down, working in the guard. Nadine, she made an attempt for that arm bar when Taylor got a little bit sloppy in the guard, but Taylor, like I said, her jiu-jitsu was pretty decent. The jiu-jitsu was pretty decent. She escaped it, went back to the ground and pound and just controlled the fight, controlled the round. That second round, Taylor, she was working them leg kicks, uh, she was working those leg kicks, trying to stay out of range, land punches. But Nadine working those long 1-2s, punching her way in, and eventually getting taken down again. Which is what you got to do against a long, tall fighter. You got to take them down. Taylor tried to go in for that armbar in this fight in this round, but Nadine, she evened it out here. She evened it out. She used her jiu-jitsu this round, got that full mount, and finished on top here. So this fight, it was pretty close, though. I don't know if the judges got it right. I could have seen it going either way. I just thought that Nadine started doing a little bit more work over Taylor. Nadine, I know she's 1-2, and they kind of just see her as a fighter that kind of feeding to some of these other fighters in LFA. But I thought Nadine, she was going after it. She was throwing some nice combinations in the last round, hitting Taylor on the chin. Taylor couldn't get that takedown, but because Nadine was just keeping her at bay, and Taylor, she was getting hit with some shots in this round. She was getting some hit with some big shots. She was still working the body and the leg kicks, but I thought that Nadine was overall doing a good job. But eventually, Taylor, she got it down, and when she got that last takedown in this round, I said, okay, she's gonna close it out. She definitely got the round here. She worked that ground and pound and just finished off. She just finished off staying active in that position. Coach crazy talking about that money. Man, it's been 7 months, man. You still ain't you still ain't get that money out here, man. So yeah, that was a good up and coming. That's a good fight for two up and comers. Like I said, Nadine and Taylor. Taylor, she's 2-0 now. Still working her way up. Like I said, these flyweights in LFA, Bellator, 125. It's really seeming like the weight to go as of lately. It seems like the weight that a lot of women are choosing because that's the route they're going to go to when they go to the UFC, which I heard about the Tough House. BJ told me about it. The Tough House is going to have a flyweight edition for the women and, of course, heavyweight for the men. So I'm curious as to see who they're going to get. I think they might grab some Bellator and LFA fighters, some fighters that from Bellator that their contracts have canceled. They're probably going to scoop up some of those fighters and a few LFA fighters, I think. So I mean, yeah. I was just trying to pull up some info on that here because I'm excited about that, man. I want to see if they grab some of these unranked fighters from the UFC as well. Just put them all in the Tough House and see how that works out. So it'll probably be like, what, 8 of them? Yeah, I think so. Hold on. Yeah, I can't find any dates on it. Maybe I'm just looking it up wrong, but if y'all see anything, just let me know. Let me see here. Yeah, I don't see nothing on that one, though. Oh, this other fight, though. This other fight on this LFA card was solid, though. Alandria Brown versus Sydney Trio. This was like good, solid action, man. It was a striker versus wrestler. That's what made it exciting because Alandria Brown, she was really trying to go in there and just pressure Sydney Trio in this fight. But Sydney, she was just taking the fight to her. The girl's a dog. And I'm going to say, look, some of these higher level fighters can learn from some of these lower fighters sometimes. I mean, like what I saw Felicia Spencer doing to Aaliyah Letson, like Aaliyah Letson should have been doing what Sydney Trio was doing, as far as like trying to get those underhooks, counter wrestle, and just land big punches. Like Sydney Trio in this fight, she was putting the dog on Alandria Brown. This girl right here, somebody to watch out for. It was Battle of the Undefeateds, man. Brown, she came rushing right out for a clinch, trying to wrestle Trio, trying not to give that striker any space. But Trio was in that phone booth working. She was landing knees, man. Like, you can't be afraid to throw shots. Like, some of these fighters, they just, like, clam up. But Trio, she was just staying calm in this fight. She was, like, letting Brown gas out. And eventually, when she got the separation, Trio just started landing good shots. She just started going to the head and to the body and just tagging Brown. She was just tagging Brown with some big shots. So that's what I'm saying. Like, these wrestlers, like, when they come straight at you like that, you got to have some type of physical strength. and you definitely have to have the takedown defense if you want to be a striker. Like Trio was doing a good job of just landing big shots and just rocking Brown throughout the round. The second round, Trio, she started landing bombs right away and kicks, like just teeing off on the wrestler, just keeping her back. And again, whenever Brown closes in and wants to hold, you go for that takedown. Trio, she wasn't having it. She was active, just countering on the inside, landing good strong hits. This round was a little bit closer, but I still think that Trio, she was just like landing bombs and just ripping her. She was just ripping her. That last round though, Trio, she landed some beautiful right hands, let Brown lock her up and press her, but again on the inside, Trio just doing a good job of counter wrestling and finally just sidestepping, keeping that range with her jab. Brown gassing out, taking big knees, just taking big knees and big punches on the inside till finally, like, Trio puts her in this tie clinch and just like starts landing big knees. And when they separate, she just teed off with like a barrage of hooks, and the referee had to stop it. I was like, dang, man, wow, it's crazy, man. Like that's what I'm saying. Like these lower level fighters, you can learn something from them, man. Like sometimes you step it up and you watching these elite fighters or so-called elite fighters, you're like, what are y'all doing in there? I mean, like no, not like well, I'm gonna talk about Cynthia Calvillo later, but like Calvillo, sometimes these fighters they need to go back and watch. That's all I'm gonna say. They just need to go back and watch these hungry young fighters coming up, because like Trio had dog in her. And I think dog is something you can't teach though. Dog is something you can't teach. So that's how it works out. But Trio right now at only 2-0, she was showing like some nice punch placement. I mean, I'm not trying to hype a fighter up too much here, but from what I was seeing, she was landing body head shots that were like cracking. They were cracking the wrestler in Brown, and till eventually she stopped her. And you rarely see these type of girls get stoppages like this. You know what I mean? Or even land punches like this. So it was a good solid fight though. But like I said, man, Robot Chicken said this is better than church, right? Oh man, what's going on, Robot Chicken? Marcus said no tough house for women's featherweight division. Yeah, I don't think we'll see that again. I mean, they pretty much failed the first time, 3 years ago. They brought in the women and they failed. Let's be real. Dana White, he failed with that Contender Series. I mean, the featherweight division was there the first time. You had Macy Chase on, you had Stoyarenko, Letson, um, what is her name? Pacheco was there at the time. Yeah, Pacheco was there. You had Bea Malecki too, right? So like Bea Malecki probably would. I know she's kind of on the downslide now, but the Bea Malecki probably would have evolved by now if there was a featherweight division. So you can thank the UFC for that. Let's be real. You can thank the UFC for that. Like Bea Malecki probably would have developed as a fighter by now. I mean, she was 4-0 for the longest. Stepped in there with a tiny fighter in Josiane Nunes and got knocked out. Right? There was really no division to work for. So it all failed, man. Whenever they just didn't expand on their tough house before, and if they do it again, they might just follow the same thing and fail once again because they don't capitalize. I mean, I could name some featherweights they could bring in, you know what I mean? Like, but are they going to just make them move down to 135? Probably, right? All right, so this last fight on the card, it was good. It was a good solid fight between, what's her name, Jenna Bishop, and this young Brazilian fighter. I've seen her fight a few times, Dion Barbosa. It was another flyweight fight, and I don't know, man. Like this fight could have went either way. It was a unanimous decision for Jenna Bishop. I could see where she capped it off with those takedowns, but I just thought that Barbosa, the young Brazilian fighter, was just doing a good job with her range. She was landing some good flying knees, and she was rocking Jenna Bishop. But I mean, Jenna Bishop, she did drop Barbosa in this fight. It was like in the first round, but overall, I think that Barbosa was landing the better shots and just doing the better work. But that's how it is, man. You got to finish. You got to get these finishes in these fights, because Jenna Bishop continued to steal rounds with her takedowns. Her positioning. She continued to just let Barbosa just continue to let Bishop control her on the ground. Like she should have been standing and just keeping this fight at a good striking distance, you know. Yeah, Barbosa, I thought she did well using her jab. You know, she kept a good distance. Every time Bishop would like try to rush her, you know, she would land that flying knee. She landed the first flying knee and stunned her. I was like, okay, she probably gonna knock her out, right? But eventually, Bishop, she storms in and just drops Barbosa with a good left hook and starts to take over. You know, she starts to get this fight down to the ground, but Barbosa, she goes back up, keeps trying these flying knees. But my thing is like, if you know a fighter is rushing at you, right? Don't waste your time with these flying knees. Like flying knees have to be unpredictable. Like she was using these flying knees throughout the night. Like if a fighter is gonna run in like that or step in, the best thing to do is land the uppercut. You know, that'll save you the time. You can keep your balance. You can see whatever else is coming, any other counters. You know, you got to throw that uppercut straight down the middle. Like when she walks in, you throw the uppercut instead of the flying knee. Because if you miss the flying knee, you're gonna get taken down, right? But Barbosa to me was just landing better shots, you know, throughout the round. I thought she was just landing better combinations. Second round, she dropped Bishop with her own left hook, but you know, Bishop, she got back up, started fighting strong, landed some good shots off her back foot here in the second round, and got another takedown. Bishop, she got a top position, started landing some good ground and pound in the second round. So it was another one of those close rounds where it's like, okay, you let somebody take you down, you're gonna fall behind, you know, because sometimes I don't know how these judges score takedowns, man. Like if you take somebody down and they bounce back up, or if you take them down and you just lay and pray, I can't really give you the round, but that's how the judges do. So at this point, it was tied up, right? Last round, Bishop ran in with some of them strikes again. Barbosa, to me, she just needed to end the fight because Bishop was still game. You know, she was rushing in. Finally, Bishop got that double leg, picked her up, slammed her, put her on her back. Barbosa, she popped back up, but she eventually let her get down again and just mauled her the next few minutes of the round. Just full mount, and this is where she let it slip. So I can say, okay, this is where she let it slip. Full mount, went to her back, tried to get a rear naked choke, didn't get it, but Bishop finished the fight stronger, right? So she got the win. You know, I was just looking at some highlights right now as I was talking to y'all. But yeah, Bishop, I can see where she got it. You know, I was just scrubbing through the fight. I can see where she got it though, you know, with those takedowns. But I think that this young kid from Brazil, Barbosa, if she works on her takedown defense, she could be pretty effective, you know. So yeah, it was a good night. It was a good night of fights. You know, LFA card was solid, you know, overall, but minus the title fight, it just kind of killed my high. Let me see what they had posted on Twitter here, just in case y'all didn't see it. So yeah, you know, y'all know the fight got canceled, but the reason why TJ said it was because of the other fighter's insurance. Hold on. Yeah, it ain't coming up right now on my phone. So yeah, I got it posted on my page. So if you want to see it there, you can. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about with this card. I just wanted to go back and kind of, you know, discuss these fights a little bit on what I've seen. Because, you know, when there's a lot of fights like this, I ain't going to talk about them all on one live stream on Monday. I'll just, you know, start doing a post fight on the card if there's this many fights, and do them throughout the week or something, you know, or do them throughout the day. I mean, yeah, Marcus, that featherweight division is still rests on Nunes's shoulders. Yeah, that's pretty much how it's going to be for a while. It's going to be on her shoulders for a while until she retires. I mean, until Norma Dumont gets in that position, right? Until Norma Dumont gets there, then hey, yeah. Yeah, I figured you were. I figured that's what you were just saying, TJ. I was like, you said this said her insurance didn't cover, but it has something to do with the commission, you know, canceling the fight. So Um, okay, hang on here. Yeah, it said tonight's main event, meaning Friday night, will be postponed due to it failing to meet state sanctioning requirements. We hope to provide an update shortly on the rebooking of this title fight. And that's all they said. State sanctioning requirements were failed. Which yeah, could have meant anything on any side. They never said so. Yeah, TJ. Yeah, I figured you were just saying, like I said, we're gonna take your word for it. So you better clear it. You better clarify. We're gonna take your word for it. But yeah, I might jump back on tonight and talk about this Bellator card because Bellator. I do want to talk about the Cyborg fight real quick, and well, I'll talk about it later. I might jump back on tonight and talk about that fight, and I want to discuss a little bit about Valerie Lareda. you know, uh, Man, well, I got a few minutes. I'm not gonna go too deep here, but man, I was looking at all these fighters going in on Valerie Lareda. Man, like, wow, what are y'all thoughts on that, Coach? I don't know if you're gonna talk about that tonight, but like, did you see like how many fighters were going in on Valerie Lareda on Bellator's IG? I don't know if you want to talk about that tonight, but hey, did you see that? I was like, that's a lot of fighters going in on Valerie. Like, I'm not a big fan of what she does either because I'm about to fight, and that's what I want to see. Like, if you want to do that, fine, but I mean it. I don't want to see you get pushed off of just that or that. You know what I mean? Like, I understand where they're coming from, but like, man, I was like, none of. I mean, of course, there's fighters that stick with her, but there's a lot of fighters against her, man. I was like, there's a lot of fighters that were against her in that performance, and then they were just like talking about the twerking and and things of that nature. Which I get that, yeah. Like, I really don't want to see that to fight myself. I don't want to see that. I'm just surprised that they all going in on her like that, man. Because I mean, you see other women do it too. All these other women have OnlyFans, and they be out there doing things, and it's like, okay, okay, that's what they do. But I think it's the hype being pushed behind her. That's probably where everybody gets in such a, they get their panties in a bunch about because they they see Valerie getting pushed, but they don't see the same. They're not seeing the performance. They're not seeing it add up, right? So I don't know. Like I said, for me, I'm not gonna spend time like hating or talking. Like, I think her performances are gonna do that for her. Just like Paige, like I give you my 2 cents on Paige. I'll tell you this and that. Like, okay, maybe she doesn't need to be a fighter anymore, but I'm not gonna go on tweeting or posting up on IG calling her, names because she still seems like a good person. Like Valerie probably is too. She says she trains hard, right? The girl says she trains hard. It's just that she's from that IG model era. You know what I mean? Like, Valerie Lareda comes from that era. I'm old school, and there's a lot of people that still don't get that. But I still know she's doing something that a lot of people aren't doing. She's fighting, right? She's still getting into the octagon, right? She's still doing something that a lot of these people behind keyboards can't do. She's still fighting, right? But I think she just needs to find a balance. Like, some of that stuff she needs to chill on because uh people will judge you off of that. In the day you lose really bad, it's gonna hit harder than it's gonna hit harder than a um than a Nunez right hand. You know what I mean? So hey, yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that a little bit more later. I'm just I'm just I was just like not shocked, but I was just kind of laughing at like the post. Like, y'all saw Casey O'Neill, Jenna Fabian, um, fighters from all these organizations. They were just like, yo, like, you're running. They said your dancing was better than your fighting. Dang. I was like, whoa. I don't know, man. I don't know. TJ said, "Why are people so upset about Valerie? Every circus needs a clown." Yeah, yeah, like that's how it is, man. Like in boxing, we had Hector Camacho. You know, he's flamboyant. He's out there. Not what's his name? Nassim King Nassim in boxing. You know, he's wild. Uh, so I'm kind of used to seeing these antics, but of course, none of them were twerking like that. But for men, they have their own way of being flamboyant and out there. Uh, Valerie, though, I guess it just pisses people off whenever the performance ain't coming through, right? When the performances ain't coming through. See, Lolita said her performances. Valerie is a narcissist banking on her looks more than her skills. Maybe, yeah, yeah, maybe. I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna go out the way calling her this and that. I would prefer that she just fight and build herself up before she act like she's this big thing. You know what I mean? Like, but there's a lot of women doing that, right? There's a lot of women that know if they can't reach championship level, they use this platform to sell skin just in case they get knocked out consecutive times, right? Like, what is Jessica I doing right now, right? Jessica I is not in the best position in the flyweight division, so she's kind of doing the same thing. Maybe not as like out there, but she's kind of doing the same thing, right? The boss said, "Did you watch the Bruna Ellen fight?" Yeah, I did. I like the way she looked. I'll talk about Bellator later tonight. I'm gonna get back on a live stream and just talk Bellator, just like I do for LFA tonight. I'm gonna talk about all the fights on that card. Just want to get him out the way so I don't spend too much time on it Monday because that was a lot of fights this weekend, man. It was like what 10 fights, 10 WMMA fights. Yeah, yeah, I know that, Lolita. Yeah, a woman cheapens herself in the sport when she sexualizes the sport. Yeah, yeah, like I agree with that. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I don't want to see it. I really don't want to see that. But I was just surprised like everybody's feeling like she was doing it, which she is kind of like the first to be like twerking in there and showing it out like that. So she just shouldn't do it to me. Like she has a lot of work to do with her fighting, you know, first. You know, her skills like I want to go in on that fight now and just talk about it, but I'm going to save it. I am going to save it. But yeah, overall, LFA was a good card. I enjoyed it. Aside from the title fight being canceled, uh, I haven't heard anything else. You know, I'm going to try to hit Love with Young up behind the scenes and see if they do put together the fight as soon as possible. Maybe I don't know if they're going to put it together in on the next December on the next card in December. We'll see. But it's more than likely, you know, going into 2022 before Love with the Young fights for that strawweight strap, man. You know, everybody knows though, like you know that's how it is. Like I don't know why people acting like this is new. I mean, that's how it goes in the music industry too. Like the most popular artists out there are pretty much trash, and that's how I've always thought of it. Like there's some good, there's a few select popular artists even like today in the music industry, but everybody knows that when you over sexualize yourself, that tends to get the viewers, right? I mean, I really don't want to see her bring that into the sport, but like I said, it's gonna be here because men are doing that anyways. You know, men are always undressing the women anyways. If you look at some of these YouTube comments throughout some of these weigh-ins, like if you ever look at the YouTube comments when some of these women are at the weigh-ins, I'll be like, wow, man, these dudes, they be going in, man. Like, okay, you might think somebody's attractive, but I'll be like, y'all are just saying some wild stuff in here. Like, so It's there anyways. It's there. It's already there. Robot Chicken, he not solo Macy Chase on. He said she can kick rocks. All right, man. Look. Macy just need to get at 145. Macy just need to be at 145, and then you'll see what I'm talking about, man. Like 135 is not her best weight. I remember Macy chasing on. Yeah, she went in on it, boy. She went in on it a while back. To me, it's like if y'all not in the same organization, just keep doing what you do. Like just keep doing what you do. Like I said, eventually, what she's doing is either gonna blow up in her face or it might get her where she want to be, right? But somebody focusing on the dancing and the showboating and the IG modeling and all of that, eventually it's gonna catch up to them. TJ says true, but it's sad that even in combat sports, the combat sport element is less important when it comes to making money from the MMA organizations. Yeah, man, it's like the UFC, man. The UFC is entertainment. Like the UFC is leaning more towards WWE than it is like just a martial artist based organization. You know what I mean? Like they still want to bring in those they want to bring in that big fan base that they know is always going to come out for these type of antics. You know, that's why they teeter towards more towards, well, let's say their biggest paid who's their biggest paid star? Conor McGregor, right? That should tell you right there, right? The dude can fight, but he also has this character about him. He's a clown, but that's what the people want to see. He has that WWE demeanor. And how else does the WWE promote most of the women there? Like, look how they dress, right? Look how they act. Like, look at the performance they put on. In the suggestive performances they put on in their shorts and their boots and everything, right? So, it's still entertainment. So UFC kind of leans more towards that type of entertainment. Of course, it's real though. Of course, it's real fighting, but they still want to have that type of element to bring in a bigger audience. A crowd that wants to see drama, a crowd that wants to see some buffoonery and blood, right? That's why people boo whenever Curtis Blades is, fighting more of a chess match. He's taking his time. That's why people boo whenever Valentina is taking her time and she's picking her shots or she's grappling, because this is that buffoon and blood and boobs crowd, right? The triple B crowd, right? It's the boobs, blood, and buffoon crowd. Like they want to see people go straight at it. They want to see people, go at it. That's what the UFC crowd consists of, right? So of course you have your hardcore fans in there that want to see people throw down and put on a chess match. Like me, I want to see that Valentina that puts on a great performance where she comes out without a single mark on her face. That's what I want to see. I mean, I love to see the barn burners too. I love to see that too. But I mean, I can appreciate that science from somebody that can bring it like Shevchenko more so than that casual fan of MMA. So yeah. But yeah, I'll go into it more. Y'all kind of got me talking about it now. Daniel Edwards said Lab versus Felicia Spencer. I'm gonna go with Felicia Spencer. I'll go with Felicia Spencer all day in that one. Lolita said at least Laredo is 100% natural so far. Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts, right? TJ said what does it say? Oh, I get it if Paige Van Zandt gets a Victoria's Secret deal and Chris Cyborg doesn't, but with Bellator hyping Valerie like she's great. Right. That's where I draw the line. Like, you can't hype her like she's better than these other fighters here. Like Kate Jackson, what's Bruna Ellen? Bruna Ellen's another fighter. Bruna Ellen's a good fighter. Like these fighters that you have in this top 10, there's so many other good flyweights there that you could be hyping up, but you can really see that Valerie Laredo is being hyped up for the hyped off of the body, hyped off of the flesh, man. Like it's crazy. And I think, yeah, I understand now. Like the more and more I talk about it, even to myself, and just go back and look, I can understand why these fighters are kind of putting on blast like that, and they are speaking about that. But to me, she's going to do it if they let her. So y'all need to kind of take it up with Bellator. Like Bellator, why y'all keep promoting this girl who's what 3-1, 4-1, like she's the GOAT? And right now, Valerie Raiders, she can't beat anybody in the top 10. I mean, she might beat Afsaragova, Diane Afsaragova, but I don't see her beating Porto, who's like number 9 or number 8. I don't see her beating Porto. I don't see her beating Alejandra Lara. I don't see her beating Kate Jackson. Of course, I don't see her beating Denise Kielholtz the more you go up. Don't see her beating Kana Watanabe. Don't see her beating Bruna Ellen, So it's like the Bellator, they're hyping her up. They're going to hype her up like that, and she's going to take advantage of that opportunity. Right, TJ. Yeah, you say your issues with the organizations. Right. Not whoever else. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, my issue as a fighter that's talking about her. It shouldn't be about her. It should be about the organization, right? Like all these people are talking about her, she can't fight, she can't do this and that. Well, talk to the organization that put her on, right? But yeah, man, that's all I got on this, and y'all. I'm gonna be back on later to talk Bellator. I want to go through those 4 fights with y'all. I just wanted to come on here and just talk about the LFA 118 card a little bit, and put some shine on what I've seen out of these ladies fighting. Like I said, it's still too early to tell where everybody's standing because these fighters on this LFA card, it's still early to tell. 1-1, 2-0, 1-2. They're working their way up. They're still working their way up. Hopefully, Loveth Young, she can get that title shot. Hopefully, they reschedule it. So yeah, I'll back on later. Make sure y'all hit the thumbs up. Like I said, if y'all hit the thumbs up, I'll keep on doing these. And also, you'll probably get a notification. So make sure you hit the thumbs up because somebody the other day, they messaged me and said, I never get to see a live stream because I don't get a notification. And then somebody else, ME, told me that he just happened to come across a live stream, but he didn't get a notification. So, yeah, hit the thumbs up so the streams will come up and everybody you get your notification and you know when I come on. So hopefully that helps. Then you ever say give her a title shot? Oh yeah, that would make people mad, boy. I mean, I would be kind of mad too. I ain't gonna lie. So yeah, I'll be back on a little bit later tonight, y'all. Combo Breaker 99. I am out. Make sure y'all subscribe. Peace.